Hey everybody, Senpai back with a video to finally get caught up with my discussions for One Piece chapters. Be covering chapters 1072 to 1086, and 1087 is coming out soon. I think it's coming out in like 2 weeks or something. So I'm gonna try and get this uploaded within the next 24 hours of me recording this, just so I'm not behind anymore. It was well during this video I will be mentioning a couple things. um th- Things have kind of calmed down for me for a little bit on some levels, as far as why I haven't been uploading. But anyways, go on with the chapter stuff. Chapters 1072 is titled "The Weight of Memory." Bonnie is trying to get answers out of Vegapunk about, let's see here, oh yeah, about Kuma's condition, and while Kuma himself is at the red line, and Vegapunk is obviously not telling her, so uh, because of a promise he made, and Bonnie finds a a pop bottle. I don't know what that was. Uh, Left behind by Kuma. That, oh yeah, that contains his memories. Vegapunk tries to stop her from touching it, saying it just contains pain, and she knows it just actually has his memories. And Vegapunk also remembers telling Kuma that a scholar from the West Blue, let's see, what was it? Oh yeah, uh, yeah, a scholar from West Blue said that people lose 21 grams of weight when they die, and which proves that the soul can be measured. And Zoro fights Kaku briefly, and until Stussy reveals herself to be until Stussy reveals herself to be a double agent, and she's actually also a clone of Miss Buckingham Stussy from the Rocks Pirates, and it's Mad's clone experiment successful subject number one. So I've got nothing really to add to that chapter. No thoughts really, except that Stussy's form is quite interesting. So I'm quite curious to see more about that. The next chapter is titled Miss Buckingham Stussy, and it's chapter 1073. Stussy quickly knocks out Lucci, and Shaka reveals to the Straw Hats that Stussy has been undercover for them for 2 decades. After this, Lilith and Edison manage to stop the Seraphim from fighting, and the chaos settles down, but uh, Vegapunk main body has gone missing. Stella at Sphinx Island. it's shown that Weevil defended Whitebeard's hometown from Marines who were after the treasure that he left behind. And he drove them off the island. But Aramaki came over and apprehended him and took him away. And it's also, we also learn a little thing about. This is actually where we learn a little bit more about Miss Bucking. She was Mad's freeloader and former Rocks Pirates member. And she's the one that tells Marco that Aramaki arrived. At sea, Kizaru is escorting St. J. Garcia Saturn to Egghead with a fleet. And so, the five elders are actually going to deal with Vegapunk themselves. Or at least one of them is, anyways. By the way, I'm kind of doing this kind of like a lightning round with all these chapters just so I can quickly get caught up and so this video doesn't get too long. After going forward, though, I'll try to go more in depth with some of the chapters. Anyways, chapter 1074 is titled Mark III, and it starts off with Sentomaru deploying all 50 of the Mark III pacifistas with orders to ensure Vegapunk gets off the island alive. The satellite Strahd and Stussy split up to find Vegapunk, while Luffy and Zoro stays behind to watch Kaku and Lucci. Oh, and Bonnie catches a glimpse of Kuma's past as a child in the power room. He's being very badly treated. He's possibly a slave. I'm not really sure, but it kind of looks like there's like a silhouette of celestial dragons. So I'm not really sure what to make of that, but I'm guessing he's a slave. Don't know for sure. And then she's expelled from the bubble. And elsewhere, Pythagoras is attacked. And we cut away from Egghead completely. We see at the World Economic Journal with Morgan's devises a story which greatly irritates Vivi. So Vivi is with Morgans and Wapple. Oh yeah, Wapple's there too. So, but that may or may not be important, but hopefully that something comes out of Wapple being there. Chapter 1075 is titled Labo Phase Death Game. And with this one, I'm going to refer to my notes more closely just so I can get through this one. First of all, Shaka is investigating from the control room. Nami, Brooke, and Edison are on the third floor, building A. And Chopper, Robin, and Atlas are on second floor, building A. And there's the whole funny scene with Robin thinking that, commenting about the organs being, thinking that they might be dismembered bits of Vegapunk. So that was kind of funny. And Sanji, Jinbei, and Stussy are on second floor of building B. And Usopp, Frankie, Lilith, and York are on third floor building C. Where they find Pythagoras, and York is turned to stone, and the others are attacked by S-Snake. And back in the command room, Zoro and Luffy are attacked by S-Hawk and S-Bear. And Kaku and Lucci suggest teaming up. Much to Luffy and Zoro's dissatisfaction, they actually give the whole face like the Whitebeard and Odin, some of those gave at back at Wano. So that was kind of funny. I didn't expect to see that face again. So that was kind of a lightning round for that chapter. Chapter 1076. This one's a little bit more exciting. This one's a little bit has more going on. Chapter 1076 is Old Friends. After some talking and a scream from Nami in the distance, Luffy decides to release Kaku and Lucci on the condition that they do not go after his friends. And Lucci agrees, saying that he wants to deal with Luffy himself first, but after he's dealt with Luffy, he'll go after the rest of the crew. So, at least Lucci's not gonna go after the rest of the Straw Hats right away, so that's a good thing. And so the four of them begin fighting the Seraphim. We also find out exactly what happened to CP5, 7, and 8. They are actually locked up in a tube with the Stella Vegapunk. And then also a fleet of 100 ships are now headed for Egghead. So we'll see how that goes once that happens. In fact, I got a little thing to say, like about chapter 2. But for now, anyways, at Elbaf, Shanks is relaxing at a bar until he gets a report that Kid is attacking. Well, more like actually, to be more accurate, Kid's causing trouble. And leaves with Dory, Broggy, and Oimo and Kashi to go confront him. So I think this is the first time we actually seen. Well, this is the first time we've seen giants together. And it's the first time we've seen any of them in a long time. I think the last time we've seen any of them was probably in East Lobby, at least for Oimo and Kashi. And then and Shanks sends Rockstar with a message uh, for Kid to hand over the poneglyphs or fight. Like, hand over poneglyphs and flee or fight. And while Kid and Killer talk about fighting Shanks. Okay, now this next chapter has a pretty good, funny title. I definitely like it. It's chapter 1077 is noticed should have noticed sooner, and title definitely I can't agree more with the title. First of all, at the start, it starts with Sentomaru tells people at Egghead to leave since it'll become a battleground. Then during the battle with the Seraphim, Zoro realizes how similar they are to King. And Luffy, Lucci, and Kaku simultaneously say that he should have noticed sooner. So that's like the title of the chapter right there. Oh yeah, and Shaka realizes where Vegapunk could possibly be located, and Straw Hats and Lilith are fighting against the Seraphim. And this is actually pretty cool. I actually like seeing the fight a little bit, seeing how Lilith is. She's actually my favorite of the satellites. And Shaka finds Vegapunk and the Cypherpole agents in the old Devil Fruit research lab. But before he could free them, he is shot. Chapter 1078 is titled Escape Limit. And this is actually the last time we actually see the Straw Hats for now in this chunk of chapter, because after 1078 we don't see them again so far that's been out in the series that's been released. So Dusty informs Sentomaru of the two reasons the government is going after Egghead. The first is Vegapunk continued Ohara's research, and the second, Egghead has its own military force. And everyone begins evacuating the island after learning this. So, actually, kind of surprised it actually took them this long to start evacuating. But hopefully, they actually managed to get out. And the Straw Hats who are not fighting actually continue their search. And Atlas's group heads um, and Atlas's group heads to the lab. And Zoro and Kaku chase after S-Hawk. Then we get something from the narrator saying the resolution of this incident the following day would inflict a kind of shock the world never saw coming. Now, I think that might actually tie to the Grand Fleet because actually I have a thing right here and I think it's chapter 800. Uh, in chapter 800, we see after like they have like the thing with the Sun's Cups. Through the very odd practice of Sun's Cups and forces unexpected and out of their control, 7 odd mighty warriors label themselves the followers of Straw Hat Luffy. After this moment, they will each grow in power until they eventually cause a great incident of historic proportions. But for the moment, that is a story no one yet knows about. So again, chapter 1078, we learn, like we hear this thing, the resolution of this incident the following day would inflict a kind of shock the world never saw coming. Now, what I think is going to happen there is it's going to be very similar to Marineford. It's going to be kind of like a reverse Marineford in the sense that, okay, in Marineford, the Whitebeard fleet showed up first, and then Whitebeard himself on the Moby Dick came up from under the ocean right in front of the Navy. And they start the war there. Now, here's what I think is going to happen. The Straw Hats are going to be in trouble. They're going to be trying to escape. And, well, and they are trying to escape. And they're being chased. But the Grand Fleet actually comes in and the Grand Fleet will come in and give the Straw Hats a way out, and the Grand Fleet will deal with the Marines and any other forces that are at Egghead. Yeah. As for like how the Grand Fleet would be there, well, we did have Sai and Leo at the Reverie, so they might suspect something about Luffy being in trouble. And considering that Luffy himself kind of died over in Wano, uh, his Viva card might have burned up briefly, and even though it did recover, I feel like maybe like Bartolomeo, especially Bartolomeo, if Bartolomeo saw that, if like the Viva card burned up a little bit, Bartolomeo would be instantly concerned and call the other members of the Grand Fleet and head straight for Luffy's location, and then they'll notice that Luffy's moving, and they'll be heading to a different direction. So they're going to arrive at Egghead just right in the nick of time to save them. That's what I think will happen. And I'm pretty confident in that. Anyways, getting back into it, York reveals herself and saying she's going to be a celestial dragon, and the world only needs one Vegapunk. Or, as she specifically says, Dr. Vegapunk. Chapter 1079 is titled The Emperor's Crew, the Red-Haired Pirates. And the chapter starts off with hours earlier. York gives the Seraphim their orders. And then off the coast of approaching Egghead, we see one of Blackbeard's ships begins approaching. So I think maybe Carrie Devon and I forget his name is actually heading for there. Not really sure why. Maybe they want some. Well, obviously they want some information from Vegapunk, but I don't know what it would be. At Elbaf, Shanks orders his fleet to stand back and gains intel on Kid. And Shanks gets a vision from his future sight of Kid attacking. And he leaps at him using Divine Departure to cut down Kid, and Killer is taken down also because Killer actually stepped in to try to save him. And the rest of Kid's crew offer their road poneglyphs for them to be spared. And Dory and Broggy unleash an attack that cuts the ship clean in two. Which leaves the crew totally destroyed. Chapter 1080, I have a bit more notes, so I have a bit more to say. So, it is titled The Hero of Legend. At full lead, Kobe has escaped, and it is revealed that he has a bounty. He has a 5-star bounty, which is revealed to be about 500 million berries, or 5 treasure chests. So I guess the stars, because there's like one chest for each star. So I would like to see more of the bounties against the Marines, see how that goes. And I guess most captains, though, only have a bounty of like 100 million, but since Kobe is like kind of considered to be like a hero, he has a higher bounty. And Pizarro also orders the pirates not to kill the escapees. And we learned some more devil fruits from Blackbeard's crew. Shiryu has a clear fruit. He's a visible man. Val Pizarro, he has an Isle fruit. He's an island man. Vasco Shot, he has a glug fruit. He's a booze man. San Juan Wolf has a huge fruit. He's a gigantification man. It's revealed, like the whole Rocky Port is over here at full lead, so, and it's just been repaired. So there was a few people involved at Rocky Port. Let's see, I think there was like Shanks. No, wait a minute. Not Shanks. Law, Blackbeard, Kobe. There was one more. I can't remember who that was. Oh yeah, I think maybe Wayne G. Kobe thinks back to when he arrived and tells Blackbeard that he is a member of Sword. And Kuzan explains what they are. So, makes me think, since I'm pretty sure Sword is actually a secret organization, not many people know about it. And since Kuzan knows, I'm pretty sure he's a member of Sword, but it's hard to say for sure. And Kobe was later freed by Perona in exchange for helping helping Moria get released. So I'm guessing Moria is freed now. I don't know for sure at this point. But Kobe doesn't really strike me as like a dishonest person. In fact, he is very honest, maybe too honest. So he probably helped Perona free Moria and then freed the other captives on the island. Navy has arrived, and Kujaku, who has a whip fruit, is a disciplined woman and is Suru's granddaughter. That's a lot of information about her. Is moving buildings with her whip. And she is also a rear admiral. And Lieutenant Commander Hibari saves Kobe by changing the pirates' ammo into flowers. Now we see this in the cover story with Vegapunk creation, where changes the ammunition into flowers. So it has obviously a creation from Vegapunk. And Prince Groose, who is a rear admiral who has a glorp fruit. And he's a clay man. Helps the fight with clay golems. And then Tashigi, Helmeppo, and Garp launch into the air with their ship, and Garp himself jumps off and attacks with a galaxy impact, which destroys the immediate area completely. It's completely devastated. Chapter 1081 is titled 10th ship captain of the Blackbeard pirates, Kuzan. After the attack, Garp comments that he's losing his touch after all these years. And Kuzan arrives and freezes Hibari, and he thinks back to a year. Thinks back a year to when he meets up with Blackbeard. Well, where he actually joined Blackbeard, and he and Garp began fighting. At Winter Island, the Polar Tang submarine of the Harp Pirates has been sunk. However, fortunately, Beppo has kind of like a rumble ball made by Chopper, and he eats it, and he escapes with Law, but the rest of the crew is still defeated. So, in just a couple chapters, both Law and Kid are defeated. So, it says something about their teamwork over in Wano, how they managed to defeat Big Mom. And it goes to show that in the New World, if you're not in an alliance, you're probably not going to be able to make it very far. Because almost immediately after ending their alliance with Luffy, they're defeated. Chapter 1082 is Let's Go and Take It. First of all, Vice Admiral T-Bone is dead. I think I kind of liked him back at right before we got to Ing's Lobby. He was pretty interesting. I have to go back and actually see a little bit what he's like, because I just don't really remember much about his character. So that's kind of interesting that he has been brought up to be dead. And Suru and Sengoku talk about how he was killed in the Pepe Kingdom, where people live in poverty. And he informs them that Garp and Kujaku went to Full Lead. I actually got it that time. Wow. It was so hard when I was talking about her before. At Empty Bluffs Island, Buggy congratulates the man who killed T-Bone, and the money was sent to this man's family for the killing of T-Bone. So I'm pretty sure his family is not in poverty anymore. And Buggy and the Cross Guild welcome the man into the crew. Buggy's informed that the ship is finished, and the design angers Crocodile and Mihawk. After some talking, Buggy tries to get them to go after the One Piece, but he only manages to rile up his followers. So, yeah, I guess now we have Blackbeard wants the One Piece. Shanks is after the One Piece. I'm not sure exactly why Shanks is after going there. Probably just trying to give like a rival for Luffy or something. I don't know. Or maybe he does want it for himself. I don't know. And Luffy's going after One Piece, and so yeah, 4 groups. At Kamabaka Queendom, the vice captains of the revolutionaries greet Sabo, who has arrived on a ship from Lucia with some survivors. Most notably, of these survivors is Moda, and we know Moda from the Ace um, cover story when he's going after Blackbeard, and also when the revolutionaries kind of liberated Lucia from Peachbeard. And Bella Betty takes in survivors for enlisting, but instructs them to rest first. And Sabo sits in a private room with Ivankov and Dragon, and he begins telling them about what happened at Marijwa. Chapter 1083 is the truth of that day. And Sabo starts off telling them they completed 3 objectives that he had. The first is destroy the symbol of the Celestial Dragons. The second, free slaves and take back Kuma. And third, destroy their food stockpile. And they inform Sabo his actions inspired a dozen countries, resulting in 8 successful revolutions. However, Lucia, of course, vanished, so that means 7 are still left. Not sure what happened to the other 4. Dragon also says that the real fighting will begin when the Holy Knights get involved. And they also ask Sabo to explain the truth of Cobra's death. Over a month earlier, the revolutionaries attack in Karasu from the north with a soot fruit, attack some agents, and free some slaves with Limburg from the south. Morley from the west fights Aramaki. elsewhere, Vivi is dealing with Lucci, and Cobra is about to meet the five elders. And that's all I have for that chapter. And it was after this chapter that I experienced something hard, and I'm still kind of trying to adjust to this. I mean, I haven't fully gone over it. I mean, I doubt I ever will. But my cat sadly died. Um, I took it pretty hard at the time, honestly. I just want to mention this, and I will play a little tribute. I will not have music for now, but I will play it right now. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed that little tribute. So now I'm going to get back into the chapters. Now, chapter 1084, I will show on one of my two sides here. Or maybe I'll even put it on both. We'll see. Or maybe I'll just fill the whole screen with the image. But 1084 color spread has something very interesting. It is the women, including a certain somebody from Wano that had much debate about whether this person was a man or a woman. Now, based off of this appearance of this character, she is a woman. Yamato is female. 100%. Now, I said this in, I think, in a previous video, saying that Yamato needs to get over this whole thing about being Odin. And once she does, she will not be saying that she's a man anymore. So next time we see her, it will be her. And I also saw something recently, actually, about, since I'm on the topic of Yamato, about the One Piece dub voice actor addressed Yamato as him. Now, I am hoping that that does not become a problem. If that does become a problem, I will personally stop watching the dub and I'll just go strictly manga. So, I'm just mentioning that now. Now, onto the chapter itself. The attempted murder of a celestial dragon. Sabo meets Bonnie after getting the keys for the slaves, and they go their separate ways after learning what the other intends to do. And Cobra meets with 5 elders. And talks about Queen Lily of the Nefertari dynasty. And how she was among the first 20. But she did not become a celestial dragon. He notes that Lily did not return home, and her brother took the throne in her place. So, a little thing about that real quick. So, we've had a few characters from the Void Century. We got Lily, her brother, Joy Boy, and Toki. Oh yeah, and Zunisha. Feel like we got like a pretty solid cast for characters for the Void Century. Now we just need to get this all in place. And actually see the Void Century, actually get that Void Century arc happen. And I'm honestly hoping like get like at least 5 chapters talking about the Void Century. I would like to actually, I could, if I get up to 10 chapters, that would be great. But I will take 5 chapters. No less than 5, please. Oda, if you are watching this video, no less than 5 chapters for the Void Century. Please and thank you. Anyways, the elders reply they do not know what happened. And Cobra asks what the D is, saying he found a letter left behind by Lily that was passed down through the Nefertari family. And this actually surprises them. And we cut over to the mingling courtyard. Charles attempts to get Shirahoshi again, and Muzgard lets Sai and Leo attack Charles since they're pirates. Then at the end of the chapter, Emu walks in on the meeting between the elders and Cobra and sits on the throne saying Lily's name. Chapter 1085 is titled The Death of Nefertari Cobra. Big shock. Pretty much ever since like when they were on their way to the reverie, people called that Cobra was gonna die. And I was on board with that theory though the entire time. So when it was shown that he died, I was not shocked. But I can tell you one thing who is shocked. Cobra is shocked to see Emu. Actually, was actually surprised by Emu's presence or appearance, rather. And Emu tells Cobra, I'm gonna assume that Emu is female. I'm gonna go along with the lines of the whole Kaguya, that Emu is Kaguya in this scenario. So I'm gonna say she. And I'm sure you guys can find some videos about Kaguya, but I really think that Emu is Kaguya. So that means Emu is from the moon. Emu tells Cobra that she will not explain her existence, but we'll talk about the D. Emu explains the D once opposed them. By the way, I'm just going to try and get this read directly from my notes because I don't want to mess this up. And the ones appearing now are just empty husks, ignorant of the name. Emu goes on to question if the liberation of the poneglyphs was a simple mistake or planned, and asks for the name in Lily's letter. And Cobra reveals the name to be Nefertari D. Lily, and is attacked by a devil-like tail. And Sabo attacks the five elders and Emu, and all six transform into unknown forms. All I can see is just silhouettes. One of them probably kind of looks like a bird, but I couldn't really say what all these forms are. And they retaliate against Sabo. And Cobra tells Sabo to tell Luffy and Vivi they also bear the D. And Cobra quotes contents of the letter for Sabo and is quickly killed. And these contents, I kind of try to look over this as closely as I could. And this is what I could understand. The poneglyphs must be protected. Bear the flag of the dawn against blank ing. So like there's just a blank in there. I couldn't make out what was there because Emu was yelling over the thing. But ing world Nefertari D. Lily. So I'm pretty sure D stands for dawn. And Wappo has actually witnessed everything through a hole in the wall and begins running away. And Vivi is tied up by CP0, which are actually old members of CP9. I think it was Jabra and Khalifa, I think. Khalifa was definitely one of them, but I think the other one was Jabra. they have her in the guest room. And Wapol eats his way there, and Vivi takes the chance to escape with him. And Cinderella sees him and believes they're eloping. And that was the funniest part of the chapter. I actually got a really good laugh out of that part. Um, in fact, I'm pretty sure everyone who's read the chapter has kind of laughed at that. It was hilarious. Now we're finally in the most recent chapter, the Five Elders, chapter 1086. And this one, I have a lot of notes, so please bear with me. Yeah, I got like a full page of notes, just a little over a page. Vivi is a stowaway, first of all, with Wapol on a ship that belongs to the Aegis Kingdom. And Wapol's communicating with Morgans on a transponder snail. Bonnie is on the Tajin Kingdom's ship in the hold, and Sabo is on the Lucia ship in the bilge. And at Marijwa, Emu wants to test Vegapunk's mother frame creation on Lucia because it's close. So that's kind of messed up. And the names and we get the names and titles of the Five Elders here. So we finally get all of them. And I'm gonna kind of address them in a way kind of like how Tekking does, because I'm so used to like how Tekking has named the Five Elders, so I kind of know them by those names. So if you don't know Tekking and you know me, well, first of all, I am surprised and thank you for watching my videos. But you should probably definitely watch his videos. He's actually got like a series talk about the Five Elders going on right now on his channel, which shout out for that. And Tekking, if you're watching this video, thank you. You're welcome. Anyways, we get Saint Dreadlocks, or Saint or is it Judge Dreadlocks, whatever. Who he is Saint J. Garcia Saturn, which we actually already know. We already discovered his identity a few chapters ago. He is the godhead of science and defense. And I guess this one has a couple names. He's either Gonfall or Gandalf or Gondalf. He is Saint Marcus Mars. He is the godhead of the environment. And Gorbachev, Saint Topman, Warkery, godhead of justice. Samurai Gandhi, he Saint Ethan Baron Venus Juro. He is the godhead of finance. And we get Sanji's uncle, Saint Shepherd Jew Peter. He's the godhead of agriculture. Now, the thing I wanted to mention about those Five Elders with their names, in Emu probably represents the Earth or the Moon. Actually, no, wait a minute. There's another character that represents the Moon in here, so Emu probably represents the Earth. So what I'm thinking here is this is under the whole belief from a few hundred years ago um, that actually ended in like this. The research that I saw was like the 16th century from our world, where it was proven that the Earth is not the center of the universe, and that's and it's not certainly not the center of the solar system. So since Luffy is the sun, that's gonna be where the whole thing comes in, where it is revealed that discovered that the sun is the center of the solar system, not the Earth. And anyways, Emu also desires Vivi, which is why he was looking at her picture before, a while back. I mean, she was looking at Vivi's picture before. Elsewhere, rebellions are happening in Tajin and Aegis, and the Seraphim are sent out to deal with them, including S. Well, I'm calling it these Seraphim by these names, so that's not what they're actually called, but I'm calling them that for now. They're S. Flamingo, S. Bat, and S. Croc. And back in the present, Sabo explains he used 2 additional transponder snails to make it appear he was at Lucia when he was really out at sea. They also discuss what destroyed Lucia and Emu's identity being Saint Emu of the Nerona dynasty. Nerona, Nero. I actually have been learning some pretty interesting religious stuff about Nero pretty recently. Can't remember what I learned, but it was pretty bad. Nero was a very, very terrible person, and has been living for 800 years, and was among the first 20. And the thing being an ancient weapon. And the ancient weapon is definitely Uranus or Uranus. However, I won't even say the other one. It's so stupid. And at Marijwa, Figurling Garling from God Valley, and is the supreme commander of the Holy Knights, has just executed Musgard. So Musgard is dead. I mean, that is somewhat of a shame, but I mean, at the end of the day, I think all the celestial dragons should be killed by the end of the series. So, anyways, that is all the chapters from 1072 to 1086. So now we just gotta wait for 1087 to pop up, and hopefully my next video will just cover the next 2 or 3 chapters instead of me waiting much more than that. But anyways, I will see you guys later. I think I covered some of my theories, like the important ones. Oh, I will mention right here, actually. If I don't actually get around to making a video about this specifically in time, here's a brief thing. I believe that Luffy's dream is he wants to create a new era where everyone is free. And that's probably why um, he got laughed at by Sabo and Ace. And it makes sense that that would also be a dream that uh, Roger would have, and probably Joy Boy too. But anyways, uh, I might try to go into that in its own specific video. But here I have it on record before it's revealed, right here now, about what I think Luffy's dream is. So if I turn out to be right, we all can. Somebody can just clip this. So see you guys later. Bye.